Hi and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah. I'm here with Knitting Natty to help you knit with ease, confidence and joy. We are Hygge Knitting today. I'm not Danish, I'm English. I'm very British myself. So saying this word, the Danish understand that sometimes just people cannot pronounce it. Hygge, Hygge, is a word that is not really very translatable. Hygge is something that we've been learning to understand in the last few years outside of Denmark and really taking it into our hearts and saying, I want a bit of that too. So what is it all about? Well, on the UK television there is a wonderful woman, Sandy Toksvig. She now presents the show QI, which stands for Quite Interesting. And she talks about it in one of the episodes and says it really is not translatable. Let me get a quote from her. It means to get together with your friends, usually in candlelight, and to feel really mellow and enjoy yourself. And then she says very surreptitiously, and in general, that means alcohol. But obviously, alcohol doesn't have to be involved. There's another I also have here, and I've just been and got it and paused the video and come back, this little book of Hygge. This is a lovely book. I've been reading it and rereading it. It really does explain exactly what we're talking about. And obviously it's written by a Dane. So he's from the Happiness Research Institute in Copenhagen. I have a quote in here which sounds absolutely perfect to just kind of explain it even more. Hygge is about being kind to yourself, giving yourself a treat, and giving yourself and each other a break from the demands of healthy living. That's in the chapter of food, so yeah, demands of healthy living. You know, that's probably why we're talking about healthy living. But it's the demands of living, full stop. You know, rushing around, doing all sorts of things. I mean, especially in December, can be a bit crazy. Even if you're not interested in Christmas yourself or particularly attached to it, so many people are. It's everywhere. Loud music. It's people are rushing around. Crowds are very large in shops. It's just all a bit crazy. So finding, like I said last week, an antidote to that. Winter knitting is that. It is an antidote completely to saying, I need to go out and be with people and be crazy and all over the place and very loud and just everything. It's very much an antidote to come home and knit. So Hygge is about being kind to yourself. Taking 10 minutes a day to knit, that's being kind to yourself. Taking 10 minutes a day to give yourself a treat. If your treat is knitting with a very tasty cup of tea, that's Hygge. And giving yourself and each other a break from the demands of living. Yes. That's what knitting can be. And, I mean, it can be others as well. You can bring other people around you to knit together. Why not? I've got 5 ways of just exploring this. I just kind of put it into 5 points. I was going to go a bit mad and say, now, if I can find a word beginning with H and a word beginning with Y and then G, G and E, we can really be absolutely brilliant about this and I will appear so amazing. But this isn't about me. It's about actually getting the point across. Finding words beginning with H, Y, G, G and E. It was a bit mad. Yeah, I was trying to force things into place where they actually weren't belonging. So I've got 5 things. So number 1 is a comfortable seat. Let's be comfortable, people, when we're knitting. Let's be warm. Do you need a heater? A fire lit in the stove? A blanket? Do you want to sit down and have an extra cushion? Because that's what makes you comfortable. Someone usually steals it from you when you're sat on the sofa. Like the cat, maybe. make yourself comfortable when you're sitting and knitting. Give yourself a footstool. Do you need something to rest your feet on? I can't tell you, when I'm sat here at my desk, in my office chair, I actually have a yoga bolster down by my feet and my feet go on it. Just so that my feet are kind of doubled backwards and it hurts my back and all that sort of thing. Footstools can be really supportive and really helpful so you don't get crooks in your back and you're leaning on the side of the sofa to try and get comfortable and then you end up with a different crook, but it's in the top of your back instead and round your shoulder blade. Let's be comfortable while we're knitting. Yes. So a comfortable seat is the very first thing. And if you're knitting in various places throughout the day, make at least one of those the most comfortable place you can imagine. Just take some thought and some time to really make that your own. So the next one is light. Ooh, this is a big one in Hygge. And it's about appreciating the winter light, because the winter light comes through a lot more atmosphere. It's warmer, there's less of it. It's certainly not as bright and in your face as it is in the middle of summer, because it's less intense. I know that when I'm filming here, sometimes the image can end up being quite grainy, because the lights in the studio area can only do so much, especially as I don't want them throwing right in my face and reflecting all over the glasses. So yeah, it's a big thing we need to remember. Winter night is different to summer light, and when we're knitting, just choose that light carefully. Also, you can choose what you're knitting carefully. If you choose a lighter yarn, you're going to see more shadows. That's really going to help you. You're going to see the difference between the yarn and the shadow, and the stitch will be more obvious. Choose a thicker yarn so it's easier to see, perhaps. Also, just embrace that warmer light and maybe change a light bulb in your lamp that's next to you. And that lamp next to you will help you see your knitting. So you can choose these days. You can choose, do you want a warm light bulb or a bright light bulb or this, that or the other? You know, all over it. Find what you need and find what will just give you that hygge feeling. If you're finding already that you need a SAD lamp, sad lamp, you can do that at one time of the day, right in the morning perhaps, and then you knit the warmer light, the lower light, in the evening when you're winding down before bed. So don't feel those two things have to conflict. You can be knitting at a different time of day to when you use your sad light. Another big thing about hygge is treats, as I already mentioned. So it's your favourite cup of tea. It's a cocoa or hot chocolate. It's a fancy coffee. Or you just get your spouse or a teenager to go down the coffee shop and get it for you. And that's a treat when you're knitting. Maybe that'll only happen once a week, but, you know, why not try? I try and it works quite a bit. If you don't want to go completely crazy and go really indulgent brownies and you think, oh my goodness, well, Christmas is bad enough with sweet, hot, indulgent food, I just cannot go crazy on this, make some scones. Some healthy muffins. Homemade muffins with less sugar, brilliant. Or even some fresh bread and butter. Just to sit there and enjoy while you're knitting or before you knit. You get that feeling, oh yeah, nice. This is good. I like this. You're going to feel that, and that's what we're looking for, a feeling with hygge. How about clothes as well? You want to be comfortable. Again, I will use that word. Comfortable clothes. Let's not wear the business suit that you've been wearing to the office or a fancy meeting. I doubt many of us are actually doing those anymore, but if that's you, start knitting in your yoga pants. I wear jeans that are slightly too big, so I can sit down and slouch. Yes. Yeah, let's be comfortable. Do you need a big jumper, like I said, to keep you warm? Do you want a shawl in case you get cold? Cosy socks. Have you knitted cosy socks? How about that? That's going to keep you warm and comfortable and cosy and nourished and really embrace that hygge feeling. Okay, the last one, you're going to think, oh, that's going somewhere completely different. And it is. Hygge is a big part of that, is the trust and safety issue. It's that feeling of knowing that you're okay. You're okay. And this can be done in various ways. You might be trusting and safety and just feel you're at home even with your favourite thing on Netflix, your repeatable Christmas film even, Love Actually on the television. You go, oh yeah. It just makes me feel like home. I used to watch this 20 years ago. Yeah, I'm watching it now. I had all the right people around me then. I got some of those right people around me now. They're in the other room, wrapping presents for me. And I'm just going to sit here and knit with my favourite film on. And that feeling of trust and safety is there. It might also be that you gather the things around you that you need when you're knitting. Make sure you've got the next pair of needles that you need or another ball of yarn. It can be that simple. I don't have to move. I can sit here for 30 minutes and not have to move. Just knit. You know what it is? You have to check the dialogue number. Oh, is that the right one, isn't it? You know, and you're very focal, so you just have to kind of go, which one is it? You got it. You found it. You're there. You're ready. Yeah, I've been wearing very focal since January. Oh, wow. It's a whole new world. When you're knitting, perhaps you want to bring a trusting group of friends around you, and that could be in person, and that trust could also be online. Only join Facebook groups or WhatsApp groups with people you trust. If people are dissing you and giving you wrong advice and just making your life a misery, disappear. Keep in touch with the people who actually you do trust and make you feel comfortable. But, you know, just get away from the full group. That's okay. You can have a friend for life. If you say, look, I'm really not happy with there. Can we just keep in touch? They'll really respect you for that, for making that kind of choice. But, you know, find that trust. Sharing with one person, that can be enough. I know. I've been sharing with one person from a business group that actually closed down. She and I have been talking one-to-one for over 4 years now. And it's been so wonderful to know that that person is there to hear everything that's happening in my business and in my life too. And we will be there for each other for a very long time to come. To know that I've got someone who totally gets me, it's just brilliant. You might find that, and you know you can trust someone with your knitting too. Not to judge it, not to say you haven't done that right, you've done that wrong, or, you know, I'm going to tell everyone how bad you are as a knitter. No, someone you can trust. So just hold those things for you. We're getting deep here. But that is the Hygge feeling. It's the feeling of trust, being comfort, nourished, cosy, to feel really mellow and enjoy yourself. You can enjoy yourself so much with your knitting and get so much from it. All of those benefits are just going to come to light, and you're going to go, that's so much better in my life because I've been knitting. That's so much better in my life because I've been knitting. And knitting in this way. Not just fitting it in, what I like to call oops knitting. Just fit it in, you know, when you feel like it. Oops, I haven't been knitting for a while, I'll just quickly do 10 minutes. That's useful, yeah, but it's not particularly nourishing. So, yeah. Knitting intentionally, on purpose, can be all about Hygge knitting. That can be a big part of it too. So, comfortable seat, light, get your clothes right, find a treat, allow this treat into your life, and find the trust too. That is your Hygge, your 5 ways you can find Hygge knitting this winter. And guess what? This is the last video from the autumn season. I know, we've been here a long time. Like I said last week, that's it. I'll be back in January. I might be back at the end of December. You never know. but I'm taking a few weeks off. And I think it would be good for both of us because we can really hibernate, know where we are, knit, and knit again. And if you want even more of me, because I will not be here for the next few weeks, the winter knitting retreat is there. You get even more from me in there than you would on YouTube. You get a video every day. A brand new video every day. It's about 10 minutes probably every day. I've finished the first 7 videos. They're about 10 minutes each. And I can imagine the next ones will be 10 minutes as well, or perhaps even longer. But you can watch those videos daily. They're going to guide you through the winter knitting retreat. Go and watch last week's video for a full in-depth view of it. But in the first week we're nesting. You're going to find your ideal time, place, environment for knitting. You're going to really set yourself into that knitting, so those next 2 weeks will be totally blissful. This first week of nesting is really going to settle you. Just like this Hygge video, I'm just going to go into it in so much more depth. There's one video about Hygge knitting in those 7 days, and everything else we're talking about as well. So just think, 70 minutes in that first week, spread out over 7 days. And then the next 7 days we're going to be hibernating. This is when you can sink into it. Say, oh, thank goodness I've got all of that ready. I'm organised. I'm nested. Knitting is going to be so comfortable for those next 7 days. I'm going to give you some inspiration and ideas about hibernating with your knitting. These might sound counterintuitive because no, we're not slowing down your knitting generally. Yeah, you can slow your knitting down. You can take a slower pace with your knitting if you like. There are so many other things you can do with your knitting to just feel the hibernation feeling. And then the week after that is about nourishing. Guess what? You've learnt so much over the previous 2 weeks. You just want to keep that. Really understand what it is that's nourished you so much in those previous 2 weeks and keep doing it. And I'm going to help you just identify those few things that you can say, oh, that's what's so good about it. That's what feels so good. That's why I come back to it every day. And then you can carry on with your knitting throughout the rest of the winter as well. You're going to remember this, and this is a winter knitting retreat, 21 days in solitude. This isn't a forum. I think we don't need that at this time of year. Other times of the year maybe, but when you're winter knitting and you're saying, I need to retreat, I need to hibernate, I need to be by myself, I need to trust in myself and learn what's important about my knitting. I'm going to leave the link for just that in the description below. And of course, do return in January, and you can keep binging all of my videos as well. I don't mind that. If you need something, come and have a search, come and have a look. Something will just pop out to you and inspire you one day and go, yeah, that'll help me today. That's an interesting one. Come and watch it. I know people have loved the slow knitting video. So this is the last video. I will return, like I said, possibly the end of December, just in those last couple of days, and then we'll be back in January for the winter season of Knit with Hannah. Thank you for being here all this year, and not just today. Thank you so much for supporting me. I've been through quite a bit with COVID and long COVID and so many other things, and you've been here when I've been missing and I've not been able to release videos, and when I've been here every week for you as well. Thank you so much for that support. I will be here for you in 2023. Have a great festive season. Have a great December. See you again soon. Bye for now. Happy knitting.